From real estate to real life and everything in between. The Brad Wiseman Show. And now, your host, Brad Wiseman.
All right, we're back. We are back, whether you like it or not. We're like a dirty penny, you know? We just keep coming back, So we're going to talk real estate today. Something a little different for us. We don't always talk real estate, but of course, once a month, you know who's here in the hot seat is Pete Heim, and he's here to talk some real estate with us. So, Pete, how you doing,
Speaking of dirty pennies.
Yeah, speaking of dirty pennies. Just dirty, period.
Just dirty,
Yeah,
period.
That's right. Now,
Yeah, good to see you, man.
yeah, you too.
How's it
It seems like it's been longer than a month, right?
It feels that way.
Yeah, it's weird.
But it has been.
It's been a month, right?
Yeah.
A month, right, Hugo?
Unreal.
That's right.
Yeah, Hugo knows.
Yeah.
So, what are you seeing going on as overall? I mean, you know, now 2024 is in the rear mirror. You know, we're now in February, and weather sucks.
Yep.
But we're in February. But what are you seeing? I mean, are you seeing any signs of spring market? Are you seeing more listings? Are you seeing more buyers? What are you seeing?
I see seasonality.
Seasonality.
Yeah, I think we're coming back. We're
Is
back.
it, and also, do you think that's because of just the market is doing that, or do you think it's because we actually have a winter?
No, I think it's because we actually have a winter.
I
which
think
we
so,
haven't
too.
had in,
Exactly.
what, 4 or 5 years?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've actually, you know how I always like, we have not seen green grass for a while.
Yeah.
And the last couple of winters, we've actually had green grass. We've had like a sustaining of fall.
Yeah.
And then it just went right into spring. So this year we're having a winter.
We're actually having appointments set up and then canceled.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. And by the way, we're in the Northeast here, in case anybody's listening and doesn't know where we are. We're in the Northeast. We're in Pennsylvania, and we're in the southeast central part of Pennsylvania. And we have a winter this year.
We have a winter.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But we're back to actives again. We're at 360.
Yeah. 359, by the way. Just check 5 minutes
Oh,
ago.
okay. Well, that was your update.
We lost one.
Which tells me
We
about
lost one.
pendings or
No, 359,
but-
36. But it's hovering in that area.
It is.
We'd like it to get back up to the 400 range if we could.
Right.
But
I thought for today, I thought it'd be nice to compare the two Januaries.
Oh, good idea.
I had 2024 versus 2025 January, which is
do it.
interesting.
What do you got?
There were. Do you know why I love just looking at January? Because it's easier on me to like. There's been 291 listings so far this year.
Oh, got it. So so it's just this month, that month.
So,
That's it. Yeah.
So when I have to do February, it's like, oh, I'm all messed up.
Yeah, right. So it's 291 listings. That's it.
There's 291 listings so far this year, but our total at that moment was 358. Now you said there's 359 active.
Right, yeah.
But that within minutes that changes, right?
Of course.
So we're at 291, total of 358. It's for the month of January. January of 24, we had 279 listings.
Oh, interesting.
Which is a few less.
Yes.
A few.
Yes.
Which we're in 333 total.
Okay. Well,
So
still a few
it's
that's
trending.
less. So it is trending
It's
upwards.
very slowly, but it's trending.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think that's an indication of what's coming.
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah.
And we're starting to see. I don't know if we're starting to see some of the buyers. For me, the quality of the financials of the buyers is definitely changing. We've talked about this before, and then everybody said, like Hugo asked me before we went live, why is that? Why is it changing? Why are the buyers needing maybe a seller assist, or they're just not as qualified as they've been in the past 3 years? And I don't know if it's because the good buyers have already bought,
Part of it.
or is it because those buyers are now out there going, look, I'm going to grab onto something now when maybe there's not as much competition out there.
That's right. And it's a good time to do that right now.
Exactly. So it's interesting. And I
think it's both, Brad.
I think it's both. Yeah, I think so too. And I still wonder, do we have a lot of buyers in the sidelines that are waiting for this pot, like what they call it? Not pot. What the hell? That didn't sound good, did it?
Wait for pot.
Well, this show's going to pot. I'll tell you. Holy shit! No, but the what do they call it? Like the gold coins at the end of the rainbow. Like I think people are waiting for the rates to come down.
Pot of gold. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. Pot of gold, not just pot.
Just a pot.
Holy crap! You can tell we don't edit this show.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Just make it THC instead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I used it for my back actually. But seriously, there's the pot of gold. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the pot of gold would be that they're looking for that, thinking the rates are going to come down.
Yeah.
And I think there's buyers on the sidelines.
I
Don't
agree.
you think that? I think
do.
so too.
Yeah, but we're at 7, right? Or
7%,
so,
a little bit under 7%.
Yeah,
a little
but
bit
it's-
under.
it goes back to like you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't buy or sell based on an interest rate. You do it when you need to.
Speaking of that, have you heard the rumble I'm starting to hear that they don't think the rates are going to go down much this year.
Because of the Fed thing.
I think so, even though we try to say that the Fed rate does not directly affect it,
right,
but it indirectly affects it.
It does. It's mental.
So I think they're saying now that the rates are probably, they were saying before like high fives by the end of the year. They're saying pretty much it's going to be hovering around 6.5 the whole year.
Yep.
So don't wait.
I'm feeling that too.
Yeah.
I know you are.
Yep.
Hey, but going back to January versus January, absorption, it's interesting. Absorption is up 0.1, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but last year it was 1 month.
Yeah.
This year it's 1.1 months. So that means they're hanging on a little bit longer, especially the higher price stuff. The higher price stuff is really taking longer.
And that's what's that because of rate.
Because of rate.
Because of rate. What that did, the rate has taken more high-end buyers out of the market.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
And there's less of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why. Pending sales are down. Last year it was 272. This year it's 267.
Interesting.
For the month of January.
Interesting.
I think because we have a winter.
Yeah, I think so. I totally think that's
solds are about the same. We're 232 this month, and last year this time it was 236. That's about the same.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Average sold price.
What's that? I'm interested to hear this number.
Last year it was 278,137. This year it's 301,345.
Wow.
That's 8.3% increase month over month.
Wow.
Well, year over year. Sorry.
Year over year.
The first month, year over year.
Yeah, got you. That's crazy. That's a lot.
That's January.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. 8%'s a lot because we were at 5.85 total last year.
Wow.
So that's a lot.
That's not what I thought we would hear.
Yep. Days on market's about the same.
Yeah.
26 versus 27.
So really there's not a whole lot of change.
Yeah. No.
But what's interesting about that, if you look nationally, there's a lot of change.
There is a lot of change.
There's a lot of change. People are talking about expired listings. They're talking about, the second agent that gets it. What's the percentage of the of decrease in price when the second agent? We're not having that conversation yet.
No,
I don't think we're going to.
I checked the expired listing thing at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
I thought
expired listing. By the way, just so everybody knows what that means. That is basic. No, we talk about this stuff. Doesn't mean the house blew up.
Yeah, it expired
or that it died. The house expired. No, what it means is that it was listed for a certain amount of time, typically 4 to 6 to maybe a year long or whatever it is, and that agent wasn't able to get the job done for whatever reason. And now they're going to a different agent. Hey guys, I want to take a second and thank Comfort Pro. Since 2001, Comfort Pro has been helping customers stay comfortable where they live, work, and play. They have 24/7 emergency service and a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. If you need help with your heating and air conditioning or indoor air quality, call Comfort Pro at 484-917-1803. Mention the show and receive a free humidifier with the installation of a complete system. Or they might go to a different agent. Yeah, depends. Yeah.
So I checked it. There was out of 111 of them.
Yeah.
That were like on January 1. Only 11 of those were actually listed with a realtor, and they didn't relist with the same realtor.
Right.
Or they just didn't do it. So 100 of them either went with the same guy, or there were new construction models that had to be re-upped and stuff like that.
And that plays part of it.
Yeah. So there's really, in effect, 11
that were
expired listings in a county that has right. I mean,
360 listings.
Yeah, but but it's really small.
Yeah, it's
a very small
very
number.
Small. I remember that number used to be 60, 70,
hundreds sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. So do you have anything else? January, that's amazing. Well, so the numbers really are not crazy. Well, the craziest number is the appreciation number.
Oh, bro. And this is where is it worth it to buy right now? And did you see that 57.4% appreciation since 2019 statistic?
No, is that for Nation?
Nation. Wow. We were just under that. We were at 56.9 or something. 57.
From 2019 to now.
Yeah, you've got 56% appreciation
nationally. What'd you say locally?
56.9 or so. It's close.
Holy crap!
And then you ready? It's amazing. Since 1991, the year I got married. Okay. 321.6% appreciation. Wow. So
What the stock market do since
should I
then?
wait? I don't know.
We should check into that.
That's a really good question.
We should look to see that, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
You would think Hugo would have those numbers.
Hugo, do you know that?
No, I don't think it's that high though.
I don't think it is
high.
either. No, I don't think it is.
I mean, like we could ask
We'll have to
Matt.
look at that.
Like
Yeah.
Matt might know and stuff, but I don't know. That's a really good thing to know.
Let's look
Maybe
into
we'll
that.
do that
for
next month.
Next month. That's a good one to know because
Okay,
it'd be
I'm gonna
interesting to
make
see. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a note of that. So we'll do the stock.
Yeah, to find
stock
out what
one.
did the stocks go up since
Yeah.
2000, what was it?
1991.
1991. Wow, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
I'll look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, time in the market beats timing the market for that reason.
Say it again.
So your time in the market. So once you get started in the market,
Yeah.
beats timing the market. You're never going
Right.
to time the market.
Gotcha.
You're not going to do it. It goes back to just get started.
Yep, you got to jump in.
2024 was 5.85% appreciation. They're saying it's going to be 3.78 this year. Following year is 3.6. The following year is 3.7. The following year is 4. The following year is a little over 4. So if you bought a $400,000 house in 2024, your house is going to be worth $483,000 6 years later.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that's what that means. So should you start?
Yeah,
I think you should start.
Well, that's like I keep telling anybody that I come across with buyers. I'm like, this isn't going to change.
Right.
There's not going to be some cliff. We're not racing to some cliff right now.
No.
You know, the cliff is so far out in advance. In fact, I don't even know if it's there.
Right.
I mean, it's funny because I just think that people feel that 2008 is going to happen again, and why they would want it to happen again, I don't know. But that was a huge deal, and it was a once in a lifetime. I think that happened.
It won't.
It won't.
Because it was a lending crisis.
It was. That's
it was
right.
not a house crisis. It's just that the lending part was attached.
Yeah,
to
right.
houses.
Yep.
It was a lending problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they fixed it.
yeah, that's fixed.
They went back to the higher regulations and stuff like that on making sure a person can actually afford it. Not loaning 103% of the price.
Yep.
I mean, all that's gone.
And I'm still hearing. Oh my gosh! I just heard a podcast. It was a podcast. It was a guy that was like talking on like a live thing on Facebook, and he was talking about the BlackRock buying up all these properties. I just don't know where that comes from.
I don't know.
I mean, have you sold one house to BlackRock?
No, it's not. It's false.
I mean, I don't know if it's happening in New York City or Philadelphia.
I think it's happening, but I don't think it's happening on the scale they're saying
Yeah.
it's happening. What was it? 87% of the investments are mom and pops.
Yeah.
The rest of them are corporate, and corporate doesn't even mean BlackRock.
No, it just
that means
means-
like Dana, or not Dana. Oh my God,
Dana, oh my gosh, dude, you're dating yourself. Dana has been in business for how long?
Stop.
And actually, Hugo thought it was some chick you were dating back before you met Michelle. He's like, Dana? Does Michelle know about Dana? Oh,
that was an old truck body corporate.
Yeah.
Anyway, Carpenter. They buy houses for people transferring in and out.
Yeah, yeah.
That includes that number. That's 17% or 13% of whatever. So, and then BlackRock and those big ones are like what, 0.1
Yeah,
or
it's
1%.
It's not affecting the market. Let's
No.
put it that way. It's
No.
not affecting the market.
And you said it before.
And we've had REITs
it's-
forever.
But it's housing for people. It's creating housing anyway.
You're still renting it.
I know.
It's not like it's not like it's taking it off the market.
Right.
If somebody was buying the property and just holding it and not letting anybody live in it, it would cause a problem.
Right.
But if they even bought 10% of the properties and there was renters in there, what's the deal? Who cares?
Brad,
you
I
still
think-
have somewhere to live.
I think way back when Carpenter had their corporate relocation in human
All those
resources,
companies did.
They were buying homes. I know that.
Furnishing
you know
them.
what? Since then, I have never, and maybe you haven't ever been in competition with a BlackRock or anything like that.
No.
With people who are trying to buy a home here locally. Never happened.
No.
Now, it might be happening somewhere else, but we're ultra local.
And some of the big cities, it might be happening.
but it's not here.
I think that
I have a hard time believing it's even happening there on a great scale.
I do too, but I can't talk to it saying it's definitely not.
Right.
You know
Well,
what
we
I mean?
can't, 'cause
We
we
know
know
here it's not happening.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yep. So what do you got?
So I got
So we just keep talking until we figure out what we're going to
No,
talk
I
about.
have a question in the
Oh,
meantime.
that's right. That's right. Whoa. Okay.
So I checked like 2 months ago in my loan dashboard for my lender. It said that it showed me a graph that that I needed to reach 20% to get rid of my PMI.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now I just checked recently, like a week ago, and now I moved to 25%.
Yeah.
But I wonder, if that was a law or if it was just depending on the lender that can do that.
Well, I think we talked about that. You definitely want to check your paperwork or find out what that's about. But I think one of the things, too, is that they're basically saying that if you wait and don't reappraise it or don't check into the value and you just wait until by paying your monthly payment every month, there's principal coming off. And that number they're talking about right there, I believe, is that if you don't do anything and you just pay your payment, at a certain point, you're going to come to 20% of equity or whatever it is, or 25% of equity. At that point, it automatically comes off. Are your kitchen and bathroom remodels a little overdue? Well, now's your chance to call First Response Contracting. John Sellers will take care of you. 484-256-7136. They do residential and commercial, and they're licensed and insured. Give them a call at 484-256-7136. Okay? Now, FHA, it doesn't.
Right.
Okay. PMI for conventional, it comes off. Okay. But if you want to, and this is what I think most people forget, is that with our market the way it's going or still going, and your numbers prove that, the numbers are still going up. If you bought here, value goes up, principal goes down. Value goes up, principal goes down. When that gap gets to 20%, and you have an appraisal that proves that you have that 20% gap, then you should send it into the bank, and they're going to they'll remove the PMI. Now, don't go out. What we were saying, dude, don't go out and just pay $500 or whatever it is for an appraiser. Talk to Pete, talk to me, talk to your realtor, whoever you use as a realtor, and say, hey, can you tell me if the values make sense for me to go spend the $500 for an appraisal?
Yeah.
Is that what people fail? They just check on Zillow and they think that their house is like...
Don't use Zillow.
Don't use Zillow.
Zillow is
Redfin.
generally 8 to 12% off. Too high.
Yeah.
Generally 8 to 12% too high. So don't spend the $500
I
based
actually
on
had
its
some
estimate.
low ones last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did an analysis
Interesting.
of all the homes I did versus Zillow, and I was surprisingly how many that were low.
That is interesting.
Yeah, but no, that's a good point.
Yeah, don't
rely
don't
on
use those.
Have the professional come in and look at it.
Yeah, and a realtor's not going to charge. I mean, if it's a realtor you worked with, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I know Pete and I. Anytime you need to know the value of your house, let us know.
Oh, yeah.
and we'll do it.
We can do it.
It's a service we provide without having for you to pay for it.
I always tell people Zillow has never been in your house,
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
and you got to get in to see what their house is,
Yep.
That's true. That's a good point.
because that's why appraisers go through homes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that what is interesting about that comment is how many times, Pete, have you done the comps ahead of time on a house?
Yeah.
And then you get in and the place is like a mess. And you're like, oh boy, those comps aren't going to work.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm wrong. So all of a sudden in your head, that number of 250 or 300 is now not even close to that because they're not tidy.
Right.
That's right.
They're not,
That's right.
the house doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, whoops. That's what Zillow's trying to do every time.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Emily?
Good question.
It does.
Anyway, think about it. Your PMI is probably $50-$60 a month of your payment, maybe 70. I don't know.
I think like
Think of-
60 something.
Okay, so your recovery rate on paying for an appraisal will be 9 months.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
true.
So it's well worth it if
Yeah.
you're going to stay in the house.
Good point.
right.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah, you always got to look at that stuff. It's interesting.
You got to look at it.
And remember, with FHA, it is not removable unless you
Right.
refinance. And maybe that's what you were thinking of, Hugo. If you're in FHA and you have that monthly fee,
Yeah.
which is the like a PMI, right? It's
PMI.
basically that.
Yep.
That doesn't get removed at 20% or 25% or 40%.
No.
You have to refinance into a conventional in order.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
And FHA, I mean, it's backed by the government. That's
Yep.
all. That's all
Yep.
that is. Yep.
So this was an interesting. 2025 is poised to continue the trend of rising inventory across the country. We'll probably finish 2020 with 15% more homes available than we have now. Now that's a national number.
National?
It's by Altos Research from Keeping Current Matters.
That could be true.
Yeah, I mean that
mean,
would be
that-
really awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, if we are, let's just say we're at 400 homes, 10% is 40, so 20, you'd be 60 homes more. Mm-hmm. That's not bad.
That's about right.
I would take
maybe.
that. Yeah. So we'd be at 460, 475.
Right. We're
Yeah.
still in that interest rate freeze thing.
Yeah.
We really are.
Yep.
I mean, I come across it almost every day.
Yeah.
I got my 3.5, man.
Yep.
I don't want to go to 7.
Eventually, though, they're gonna move.
It will, because when
They're
you
going to
have
move. Yeah, and that's the thing. Unfortunately, as some of those people are saying, they're not moving because of the rate. But if they have health things that eventually they need to be on one floor or need to move to Florida or Arizona to be in better, conditions, then they're going to have to move.
They are. And two, when the house starts to go up in value, right, and you keep paying down on that 3.5% mortgage, and you get more principal going, you're getting a bigger gap that if you dump it on another one, that you have to get a smaller loan at 7%. Sometimes your payment might be close to the same.
Yeah.
Depending on what that.
Plus, when you also, as you're paying on that mortgage, you're paying less and less interest.
That's right.
So the tax savings plays a part also.
If you play that in,
exactly, you put that into the equation,
20 to 30%, depending on where you're at.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those are the numbers. You have to look at the whole big picture. The whole big picture. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. So, anything else? I'm going to check and see if I have anything else in here.
No, I just like to keep talking about it until we figure out what we're going to say.
Yeah, this is all scripted. All scripted. We rehearsed this 16 times today. This was interesting. What are the most difficult steps of the home buying process? They asked buyers and all buyers, and then they asked first-time buyers. And the what was interesting, first-time buyers said 13% was getting a mortgage. One of the difficult steps.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And finding the right house was the number one problem for both first-time buyers and all buyers.
No kidding.
It was 55% and 53%. Paperwork. First-time buyers were scared of the paperwork. That was a difficult step. And understanding the process and steps. This is good for realtors to hear this.
Yeah.
Because this just shows you that we really need to educate.
Yeah.
They're scared.
They are.
They're scared about what they're getting into.
So.
Yeah.
It's a large purchase, right?
Appraisal of the property. 6% of first-time buyers were concerned. All buyers, 13%. You know why all buyers, 13%? Because they probably had a property didn't appraise before.
That's right.
And now they're scared shitless.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. And then saving for the down payment. First-time buyers, 32%.
32.
All buyers, 12%, because they have equity.
Oh, because they have equity.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
That's a great point.
Yeah. So first-time buyers have a lot more to worry about. Or they're definitely more difficult steps of the home buying process with a first-time buyer.
Sure, and it's understandable, right?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
That is.
I thought that was pretty cool. I don't really have anything else. I think just, it's going to be interesting to see where this year goes.
Yeah, it is.
I think locally, when our weather starts to turn, we are going to see more homes go on the market. I have a bunch of listings coming up that I'm working on, stuff that's coming up later in the, this winter and into spring. So it'll be interesting to see where things go, but sure. I think it's going to be a good year.
I think it is.
I think it's going to be a good year.
It's going to be great.
What are you going to get your wife for Valentine's
Thanksgiving?
Day?
Turkey.
I'm going to get her a turkey.
Yeah, for Thanksgiving, he usually gets her a turkey. He's really ahead of time.
She really loves Paula Dean's sweet potatoes.
No, with Valentine's.
What are you going to do for your girl?
Well, actually, Jess and I are going to be going to dinner Valentine's the day after. We're going down to the Ocean City, Maryland, and we're going to have a nice dinner down there. Just the two of us.
There you go.
Wow.
Just the two of us. Yeah.
So is your house available for a date if I take my wife over there?
Yeah, if you don't mind the kids.
We'll bring treats.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thanks so much for listening. I mean, we always have a good time with Pete here. Yeah. Hopefully, you learned something about the market, both locally and nationally. And thanks for listening to the show every Thursday at 7 p.m. Don't forget, we have great sponsors. We have First Response Contracting, John Sellers at 484-256-7136, and Comfort Pro. They can do all of your HVAC needs and duct cleaning and all kinds of indoor air quality. 610-477-5512. And I'm going to have a new thing coming up that I'm going to be talking about. It's called Bro Glow. And we'll get into that sometime soon. They'll be here as a guest. They were on Shark Tank, and you'll be seeing them hopefully in March. They'll be on the show. All right, that's about it. Thanks for being here every Thursday, 7 p.m. We'll see you next week.